Hi, this is Kim Allen at Sincerely Sublime Designs, and I am excited to craft with you tonight. Tonight's class is the first in a series of 4. We're using 2 different bundles. Tonight we're using the Jolly Holly bundle. We'll also be using it again tomorrow night. So the first 4 projects of this craft along will use that bundle, and then the last 2 nights we'll use the Tractor and Company bundles. So I have sent you the PDF so you can follow along with me if you are a visual learner, or I will be showing you the steps if you would like to do it that way. The best part is that you can pause and take your time and get your projects done, but you've also got me if you've got questions. Okay, so tonight's class uses the Jolly Holly stamp set, the embossing folder that goes with the dies. We're using the Regal Distressed DSP that you received in your packet. And then we're also using the Cherry Cobbler and Pearl Berries. And then the gold, I'm trying to give you the official names for each of these, the gold striped ribbon. And these together work really well with this bundle. So I hope you're excited to make these projects. Let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna just do the first 2 cards that are in the tutorial. So the first one we're doing tonight is this one. And it uses Pretty Peacock, and it is a fun fold. And it just really, this DSP really makes this card. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. You've got your Pretty Peacock cardstock, and it is cut and scored for you. And if you are following along and you did not order the kit, then the measurements will be in the PDF, and you can receive that with a $50 purchase. So what I'm gonna do to fold this, I'm gonna lay it so that all these are over here on the left side, and I'm just gonna bring it back, fold it over, and then fold it back, fold it over, and then fold it back. So you've got this accordion fold that's gonna go just like that, and then this is gonna be the inside of the card. Now for the inside here, you've got just a regular piece of basic white, and it is going to be, this one is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So it is gonna be where we're gonna stamp the sentiment. So I'm gonna get Pretty Peacock ink. That is the only ink color that we're going to use on this card. Let me get a block. We're going to do Merry Christmas on the inside. Now what's really cool about this set is Merry and Christmas are separate. So we've got the Christmas script. We're going to use that first. And I'm actually going to move this out of the way so that it does not... And you're gonna come all the way over here to the left because you wanna make sure that you're not gonna be covered with the DSP. So there we've got the Christmas, and then we're gonna take that one off and use Merry in print. So if I just take that, and I'm just gonna line up the Merry right above it, stamp it on there just like that. Now if you wanted to do it all in script, you could stamp Merry in script and Christmas in script. It just makes it fun to have that difference. And then I'm just going to take this piece and attach it right to the inside of the card. And then we're gonna take another piece, which is this rectangle, and it is cut right from the Jolly Holly dies. It is the smaller of the 2 rectangles. So you can see it just cut out that. It's just a stitched rectangle. And I am going to stamp the May the Spirit of the season bring you happiness, hope, happiness, and love. Let me find a block. We're just going to stamp that right into the center of that. And there we go. That's going to be our focal image for the front. So that is actually all the stamping that we're going to do. So I'm going to put the ink pad away so I don't end up making a mess. And now we're going to cut the pieces that go on all of these panels. And you'll notice that they are listed right in the grid for the measurements. And so we're going to start with the leaf printed DSP. I'm just going to pull out that piece. So you've got a 6 by 12. And we are going to cut several different pieces. So now you'll see it says layers 2 and 3. So we need 2 of these, and they are going to be 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. So I'm just going to cut 2 of those. And these are the 2 pieces that are going to go in our first panel and third panel. So we're just going to cut, we're just going to use seal and put those right in. So I've got this one. And then we've got now this panel over here is the same print, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that one, and you'll see that that is referred to as, let's see, which one is that? That is the layer 4, and it is going to be just 1/4 of an inch shorter because we want to have a little bit of white border on the outside. So we're still going to cut it at 1 1/2. And then instead of 5 1/4, we are going to cut that one to 5. And then we're just going to put some seal on and stick it right there. You can tell we've got that little white border all the way around the outside. And so that's what we're going to use the leaf print DSP for. Now the second panel and the fourth panel are going to be the gold and white check. And those pieces are going to be the same size as these 2 pieces. So we are going to cut those to 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. Do 2 more of those. This is one of those fancy fold cards that is really easy to do because the prints of your DSP just really give it that wow factor. Okay, so we're going to glue these down. I'm just going to stick that there. I'll just do the same thing here. Okay, so our card base now is done, and it just folds up like this. But now we need that front panel. And what you have for your front panel, using the Everyday Arches, I've cut out the larger one with the pretty peacock and the smaller one with the gold and white DSP. So I am just going to glue this right onto here with a little bit of border around the outside. There we go. And then I am going to take the gold ribbon and I'm going to cut a little bit of a length of that. And I am just going to wrap it around this panel. And I am gonna tie a bow off to the left side. And then I'm just gonna, let's see, fix this a little bit. There we go. Gives us our bow. Just gonna trim it up. And then a lot of times you just have to work with it to make it look pretty. This ribbon's really easy to kind of position it. I'm actually gonna pull this piece under here and see if I can get that to stay up. There we go. Okay, and then this little piece, I'm gonna use dimensionals. Let's see if I can find them. Just right here, we're just gonna put dimensionals right onto the back of this. And I'm going to take one of them and put it right there just so that it holds that ribbon in place. And then when I put this piece over top of it, it'll stick it right where I need it to be. So there we go. And then we're gonna add some of these little berries, which I just love. They are so fun. And we're gonna do the little threesome. Just put it right down there in the corner. Now, when you add this panel onto your card, you have to be very careful that you don't put adhesive behind the whole thing, because then your card will be glued shut. So I am just gonna take it down on the left, so on the back, the left side where the bow is, and it is just going to get glued right over top of that front panel. So that is the only place that it's gonna be attached, is right over that DSP there. And then when you close it, you've got your card. There you go. That is how you do the first project. And it's such a simple card, but so pretty and a fun little wow factor. You do want to make sure that when you sign the inside, that you sign kind of up here, because if you go down below too much, you'll see it right down there in that opening. Okay, so that's our first card. Now the second one tonight is a very simple card, but it has a fun factor with the embossing folder on the gold. So I am going to show you how to do this one. It is the second card in your tutorial. So to start with, we are going to have a cherry cobbler card base. If I can find it. Here we go. We've got the cherry cobbler card base cut to 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. So just your typical card. And then we are going to create the detail using the DSP. So the first layer that goes on top of the card is the white and gold DSP. And it is going to be cut to 3 3/4 by 5. And just a little tip, if you wanted to use the DSP that is going to be covered, you could always cut this out, cut out a rectangle in the center so that you're not wasting that DSP, because as you can see, it does get covered by the gold. I am not going to do that right now, but I'm just going to tell you that that's always an option for you. So you're just going to take this one, this piece, and you're going to glue it on kind of crooked. So it goes like that. Now for this piece of gold, you've got a 3 3/4 by 5. So it's the same size as this one. And what we are going to do is we're going to run it through the embossing folder to give it that raised holly. And you want to make sure you put it in on the right side. So the embossing folders, the side that has the line is where you want the gold to be face up on. So like right here, I've lined it up, but I can't see the gold. So it's gonna be like that. Okay, so I'm gonna run it through the embossing machine. And you get very pretty print. Now I think this would make gorgeous like gift tags. Cut this out and add a little something to it, and just a fun touch. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put seal on the back, and I'm gonna glue it crooked the other way so that I'm going from the other side to the bottom corner. So we've got that. And then we're gonna take one of the everyday arches, and we're actually not gonna use this end down here. So I'm gonna show you kind of an easy way to not do that. We are gonna stamp the bright and happy Christmas wishes in cherry cobbler. And I'm just gonna line it up as close to the curve at the top as I possibly can. And then stamp it. And there you go. And what I'm gonna do is I am going to put seal. Oh wait, first we need to do that red and gold border. So that piece that goes across right there is 1 inch by 5.5. And I'm just gonna put seal right on that. And it is gonna go from the one side to the other. And then we've got this little piece right here. And you can either take your trimmer and cut off the side, or you could take the scissors and cut off. I am gonna use my trimmer and just cut off right beside the dots. And if you wanted to keep those dots over there, you can. It just looks like, with it gone, it looks almost like it's folded across, which I think is kind of a fun little look. So I'm just gonna put seal on the back of that and just line it up right there. And then I am gonna tie a bow using the gold ribbon. I could have been a whole lot more efficient and just tied it while it was still on the roll, and that's what I should have done so that I didn't end up wasting any. I'm sure you can tell my hands are shaking, so I am not I'm not doing very best at the moment. But then I'm just gonna use a glue dot. I'm just gonna stick the bow right onto that dot. Take it off and then just stick it right there. And then I just kind of want to work with it a little bit so that it is not overlapping my words. Like I said, this ribbon is really, really easy to work with. And then just, oh, don't cut my shaking hands are gonna cut right through the bow. Let's see. Go. We've got the bow on there now. Now the fun part of this card, and I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but are these little dots, the way that we use them right on top of the holly. So let me pull those back out again. And on the embossing folder, you can see that they are raised, but it kind of, it's a little more fun to add the clear little dots right on top of them. And you can do them all, or you can just do a couple. It's up to you. I'm just gonna add them. Just like that. Now, here's the little trick. So there's 4 right there. And what I did was I just took one of the threesomes and I added a 4th dot. There you go. So you've got those little ones. And then if you wanted to add, like, you know, one here or there, you can. It just gives it a little bit more wow to have those little raised dots. So these were your 2 Christmas cards tonight. I hope that you liked them. I love that one is in red and one is in Pretty Peacock, which I think can be such a pretty holiday color. But like I said, these are the first 2 cards in our craft along this week. And I am excited to bring you the other 6 projects. So tomorrow night will be 2 more using the Jolly Holly bundle. And then we will move into the Tractor and Company bundle for the last 2 nights. So like I said, if you are participating and you did not purchase the kit, but you would like the tutorial, all you have to do is make a $50 purchase in my online store, and then I will email you the tutorial so that you can make these cards also. Hope you've had a good night. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.